Hey people on YouTube land, Zach Hall back here with a Bible review. Very excited to bring this one to you today. This is a church Bible publisher's Bible, and actually was sent as a review copy, so I just want to thank them for sending me this. I know that it's a loss of money when people do this, but I hope that through this video, other people will buy this Bible and make up for that. But I'm very excited to do this review. This is a beautiful Bible and one of my favorite Bibles on the market right now. We're going to go over that here in a little bit. But going on the outside here, this is a Lambskin Bible. So it's black lambskin, very well done. I love Church's lambskin. It's very soft, very flexible leather, and you can see the grain in there. It's very, very nice and soft and flexible and pliable. Feels good in the hand. This cut of lambskin is actually a little bit thicker than I'm used to, so that was a nice surprise. And so it's not totally flimsy. There's some substance to it, but it's a really nice leather. Of course, you're going to have the perimeter stitching here on the outside. Church is famous for that. And it's very well done on this Bible. You have the tooled line all around the Bible. Then on the spine here, you're going to have the raised hubs. And also you're going to have the Holy Bible, Authorized King James, and CBP in silver to match the beautiful silver gilding. And I think this is well done. I love how the spine's done. The leather looks amazing. Gives it a real antique look. It comes with two ribbon markers, and they're well placed. This is what I love about Church, is their ribbons are always well placed. And you can see the head and tail bands there. They're black and white. So that's very, very well done. That gilding is just beautiful. You can see the light reflecting off of it. This one does have a lot more glitter. So when you first get it and you start breaking it in, it's probably going to get all over your hands and fingers. But after a couple days, that goes away. But other than that, it is just amazing. I really don't like silver gilding, but I love this one. It really kind of warmed me up to it. I had a Holman that had silver gilding. I didn't like it as much, but I think it's because of the dye they use, and I'll show you guys that later. But this is just an awesome Bible as far as the outside goes. Now getting on the inside, you have the lambskin. We're going to see that perimeter stitching. Of course, in here, the corners are done nicely. And of course, because lambskin is so flexible and so soft, really you don't have problems with corners. There's one right here where it looks like maybe they didn't fold the last piece right there, but it's still well done. Nothing to complain about there. Is edge line there. This liner, the synthetic liner, will go up into this block, and they glue these first two pages together, which is going to give you strength to your Bible, which removes the stress point from the cover to this right here, so it's going to just add more life to your Bible. And then you're going to have a couple blank cardstock pages. You're going to have your presentation pages. And they're done with these blue flower things. And you're going to have the family records. You're going to have children, marriages, grandchildren. And then deaths is done in black. Then you're going to have the title page. Very well done. Very basic and very clean. There's their website if you want to visit that website. And here's the item number, the 215 red letter in lambskin. And this is the large print. So this, in my opinion, right now is the best KJV large print on the market, bar none. I don't think anything else compares to it when we get into the font, and I'm going to show you why. But you get the translators to the reader, and it's in a larger font, which makes that easy to read, which I like, because I read the translators to the readers probably every couple months. So I've probably read through it in my life. When I started reading, I probably read through it 6 or 7 times now. And then you have the Epistle Dedicatory to King James. I've read that a couple times as well. It's very good. Recommend you read that. And then you have a table of contents. So you're going to have your books of the Bible divided into the Old and New Testament, what page they start on, and how many chapters in each book, which is helpful. I'm actually teaching my kids in my class right now how many chapters are in each book. And so that really is helpful to have that there, as I can just open my Bible and go over it from there. Then you're going to have an alphabetic listing of the books of the Bible, their page number and their chapter numbers. So I'll let you take a look at that. Then you get into this beautiful, beautiful large print font. This font's more digital, so it's not a metal press font. It's 12 point. It's very clean, very crisp. And as you can just see how big and easy this font is to read. The spacing is amazing between the words. There's never a point where the words are too crammed together. The lines in between the verses are spaced out really well, so the verses don't feel like they're crammed together. It just feels like this text can breathe. It's very easy to read. The margins are done decently to where the text doesn't bend too far in the gutter. You get a good margin on the bottom, about a 1/4 inch on the side here, so it's a little bit smaller. And then once you do get into this, you're gonna have a 1/4 inch on the top. So, and you also have a page number. You'll have this dividing line. But this is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful font. And this Bible is, I think it is line matched. So you can see these lines, they're all lined up, which helps with the reading, especially with, I think the only place this Bible is not as strong is the fact that the paper is not as opaque. It's thin paper, which is a benefit. I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But you can see pretty far back. Like I can see a couple pages down there just where it bleeds through because of how thin the paper is. So it's good that this is mostly line matched. There's parts where it's not as line matched, but I think this is a line match edition because I know the Note Takers is, and this is the same exact font as the Note Taker, so I think they did try to line match this. And for the most part, probably like 85 to 90% of the time, it is line matched. So just to let you know on that. But this font is amazing. I've carried this to work. I've read it for my devotions the last 4 days. I've studied out of it and I've preached out of it. And in every case, it's just knocked all my expectations out of the park. Preaching out of it was a breeze. It was so easy. I never lost my spot. I always knew what verse I was looking at because I could find it real quick because of how big the verse numbers are. And they're separated from the words very well. They're indented. And so I could find what I was looking for really quickly. The text was easy to read. I didn't trip up in my reading. Studying out of it was awesome because it was not a strain on the eyes. Doing devotions, I like to do them in the morning, and even though I was tired, I could still read this font really easily. So knocked all the expectations out of the park. As far as the text and what else is in this Bible, it is not self-pronouncing, so you won't find any pronunciation marks in this Bible. And so I'll turn to 2 Chronicles. Or maybe first, whichever one we get to first. Let's do let's do first. So you can see here that there's no self-pronouncing marks. But this text is just crystal clean. And I'm telling you, if you're a preacher, this is well worth your look into. If you like a large print Bible, that's really not that big. I would say this is mid-size. This is 9 3/4 by 7 by 1.5 inches. So this really, for its size, feels thin. So this feels like a thin Bible. It's not that heavy. Really, it feels light. And I'm not joking. It blew my mind because it's a large print. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be pretty heavy. And then I got it in the mail. I was like, wow, that doesn't look as big as I thought it would be. And then I picked it up. I was like, wow, that's not as heavy as I thought it would be. So I thought, personally, those were two benefits. That it wasn't super big. So this wasn't huge to have in the pulpit. It wasn't like I couldn't put anything else up there. If I had notes, I could put that up there. If you had a computer, you could put that up there, or an iPad or whatever. So it fits very well in a pulpit, is what I'm trying to say. And it's light, so it's never going to feel heavy in your hands if you like to hold it. So for preaching, I find this awesome. If you want a good devotional Bible, I would definitely recommend this, just for reading or anything like that. I'm going to mark with my highlighters later in it. I'll probably give you an update on how the paper holds up. I think it will do fine. But as I said, this paper is a little bit thinner, but I want to show you why it's a benefit. And I'm showing you right now. And as a preacher, you might know what I'm talking about right here. This is so easy to churn, just even to the next page, which is so key when you're preaching. Because sometimes you need to get to just the next page, and if your pages get caught, you have that awkward pause. It might kill the momentum, it might kill what the Holy Spirit was doing. But you can just see I'm easily churning from page to page. This paper is really easy to churn. I kind of like this paper. I really do. Even though it's not premium paper, I think it's adequate for its job. So you can kind of see the poetic setting here, how that's laid out. Psalms is done very nicely. Proverbs is done nicely as well. Just easy to read Bible. And then just to show you, this is pretty easy to hold in one hand if you do preach. So there I have it in one hand. It's pretty easy to hold. It's not flopping too bad over my hands. I can read pretty much everywhere on that Bible. You can kind of catch that glare in the light there. So be aware there is a slight glare in some lighting. But when I have it face down like this, there's no glare at all. But when you turn it, there's a slight shine to it. But not enough, and it's not really even that bad, because I can read that text still just fine. But I did want you guys to be aware of that. Then we'll get to the end of the Old Testament here, and I'll show you what the New Testament looks like. This is a red letter edition, and for all you non-red letter fans out there, just stick with me for a second, because I think this red letter can convert you. So here we have the title page. It's simple, nicely done. Words of Christ are red. And I want you to just look at that red. Okay, that's not pink. That's not orange. That's not like burn your eyes out scarlet red. That's a deep, dull, beautiful red. I mean, it just looks amazing. And I'll show you here when it's next to the black text. It looks awesome. I'm normally not a red letter guy, but this one's got me starting to be converted. So you can just see here in Matthew, again, there's no self-pronunciation, but the text is really nice. So we get into the red letter, and here is the red letter. And look at that. I think it goes so well with this black text. So you have the black verse numbers, which means it's going to be easy to find your verse number when you're doing red letter. But this red is not too bright. It's not too flashy. It doesn't pop off the page and punch you in the eyeball. It's just very well done. It's very nice, very professional, and I think for just the New Testament words of Jesus, I think it's very well done as far as the red letter goes. And then we'll show you here where it's next to a black text. So I think because this is a darker font, I think they complement each other really well. This is a deeper, darker red, and this is a dark black font, and so I think they go really well as you're reading. It really doesn't distract me at all. So that's something you're interested in. For me, I think this is a bonus point. I was so impressed with the red letter. I didn't know what to think, because I know that they did one that was black letter, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because I like that. But then this was red letter, and I was like, this is a good red letter. And it is red letter throughout the whole entire Bible. So here's the New Testament, as we're just flipping through that. Books do not start on a new page, so that is something to take note of. You do have your where the book starts or whatever book you're on. So Philippians 1, you'll have your running page header here across the top. So it kind of gives you a reference of what's going on in the page. Page numbers are at the bottom. And it looks like, oh yeah, they definitely do. So the pages numbers start over in the New Testament. So it'll go back to 1 at the book of Matthew. But flipping through this, we'll see at the end of Revelation that it is red letter throughout, excuse me. So there's a red letter. Tell you, that is nicely done. That is a nice looking font. Got the end. Then you're going to have an amazing concordance. This is the classic Church Bible Publishers Concordance. It's 196 pages. You're going to have a ton of references in this thing. It's a really thick concordance. Let me just try to grab it all here real quick. Okay, so I might have a couple extra pages, but not much. So you can see that's a pretty thick concordance. Probably 1/4 inch thick of just references. So if you need to find something, chances are you're going to find it in here, which is helpful because it's a large print, so the point is not to have references in it. And so to have this concordance is definitely a huge help. I'm glad that they did leave that in here. But as we get to the end of the concordance, you actually get 4 blank pages of Bible paper. So, I mean, you can use that for whatever you want to. You could write prayers on it, salvation testimonies. You could write your sermons, have maybe one sermon you like, and you want to have that with you at all times. You could write that in there. I'm thinking about kind of doing a travel log / preaching log. So, like, whenever I preach, putting the title of my sermon, where I preached it, and the date, and just seeing how many times I preached throughout my life and kind of just filling it up. I think that's what I would probably use those for. Then we're going to get to Bible maps. So you could even use this for notes. I mean, honestly, there's so much blank space. But this is printed on Bible paper. And the map index also is printed on Bible paper. It's very well done, very dark font. So you're not going to have problems seeing the index. These are the Cambridge maps that Cambridge just discontinued in their Bible. So Cambridge just got some new maps for their newer Bibles, their newer batch of Bibles that came out. So these are the older, newer Cambridge maps, if that makes sense. And so these are nice. The color is going to be nice. The font is really well done. It's a bold. And we'll just take a look at a couple of these. And these are printed on the thicker cardstock pages. But you can just see those colors. Very well done. Everything's very easy to see and very easy to read. And there's some really helpful maps in here. Actually, I really do like these maps. Most of the times I don't really care to have maps in my Bible, but if I do want them to be good. And I think this just does a great job. You have the layout of the Old Testament Jerusalem, the layout of the New Testament Jerusalem, which is cool because I was just preaching about Jesus getting arrested and how they would have passed out of the eastern side here of Jerusalem down the Kidron Valley into the Mount of Olives, which is over here. And so it was nice to have a visual reference as I was studying to just see where that would happen. Here you're going to have a list of the ministry of Jesus and the different places he was, the different miracles he did. And then you have Paul's missionaries' journeys, of course, the spread of Christianity. And then you have the modern day breakup of Israel. You're going to have a couple cardstock pages in the back. Again, you could use those for notes or whatever you want. This is also just adds more stability to your Bible. Get to the back there. And, oh wow, awesome. The camera really didn't pick that up. If you can't tell, there's this kind of weird streak. Okay, this is not from CBP. So when I took this to work, I put it in my locker, and someone had accidentally spilt coffee. And I did have this in my Bible cover, but it seeped through my Bible cover, and it seeped through the leather. Thankfully, it did not damage the paper. Thank the Lord. That was what I was mostly concerned about. But this actually... At first, it looked way worse. It was super, like, the leather was super soaked, but it dried out really well, and it really didn't even leave that bad of a mark. You can tell, you can see right here that line that goes across, it comes down here, and so that was kind of a bummer. But be rested assured that your church Bible publishers will not come with pre-made spilt coffee on your leather. You'll get a nice, perfect Bible. However, I will say this is still flexible, still usable, still looks beautiful. So, for all intents and purposes, dodged a bullet there, thank the Lord. But I want to do a quick comparison just to show you why I think this is the best large print font. So the other big one that people would say is like the best large print for a King James is the Cambridge large print. And I do like the Cambridge large print. Here's actually a Church Bible Publishers rendition of it. And I'll try to get these pages close to each other. But you can see here, so this is a technically 11-point font, 10.5 11-point font. This is a 12-point font here. But you can see just how well spaced the large print 215 is compared to this Cambridge. So the Cambridge has, the words are a lot closer, these lines are a lot closer, and not to like, scare anybody from buying this one, because this is a really nice Bible too. If you like the older font, go with this one. But for me, when I'm preaching, this it breathes better. It's more open. I can see it easier with my eye. I can catch individual words better with my eye. So if I'm looking for a specific word in the text, I'm not going to be tripped up because all of these are so crammed together I can't tell the difference. I can pick any word on this page and see it clearly. So kind of want to give you guys a comparison there of just how it compares to some of the other large fonts out there. But, for example, the price point on this thing, if you want to get this from Church Bible Publishers' website, in the lambskin, this is $70 to $72. The extra $2 would be if you want the gift box or not with it. But $70 for a beautiful large print that's leather-lined, or, it's leather-lined, synthetic leather. But this would last your whole lifetime, and probably your grandkids' lifetime. Super flexible cover, beautiful font, red letter, 2 ribbons, beautiful gilding, and the Cambridge large print is in French Morocco. It's only a paste down liner, so it could rip before this Bible will. It probably will fade out before this Bible would. It only has 1 ribbon. The paper is not as great for a Cambridge, and that one's still like $85 on Evangelical. If you buy it directly from Cambridge, it's over $100. So you could save yourself $30-40 by buying, in my opinion, a better Bible, a more well-made Bible, and a Bible with a better large font. So I hope this video was a blessing to you guys. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please let me know. If you are interested in this Bible, I would encourage you to go to Church Bible Publishers website, pick you up one of these. They also have it in the Signature Series, so that's their top grain cowhide. Also in their Corporate Series, which is the iron calfskin. And then this is the Redeemer Series, which is the lambskin. So a very beautiful Bible. I will leave you guys with just a shot of a font here, so you guys can just check it out and just enjoy that font. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care and God bless.